And that was the last we saw of the bottle of Jaeger. The cat was very happy and had a slight limp. Hello.
Good evening.
Hey, everyone.
It's just making sure it was all fucking working. Hello, everybody. I haven't put the new music up yet. I'm going to save that for the outro. But I'm glad you guys have listened to it and like it. So I will put that. I'll get that loaded up onto the laptop, ready for an outro. But I do need a video. I do need a video if either one of you two want something to do. We need a 30-second video. Sorry.
It's all right, Ellen jumping in.
Sorry, I was asking him what a medication was because I can't quite see right now.
Hang on, bear with me.
Let's ask anybody who's watching. What medication?
Right. What about the cloud video I sent you last year? Why don't you just take the sound out of it?
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have a look at that, see if I can do that. Because the only reason I couldn't use that was because it was the X-Files. And we would have had so many people going, So
yeah, if you use anything like iMovie or some of the movie makers on your phones and things like that, you can split the audio from the visual.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you can then scrap the audio and just keep the visual.
All right. Okay. Well, I'll see what I can do with that. I am so tired, man. I've had 4 hours sleep after working all freaking night.
Fuck, man, I don't.
Pat testing. I had to do pat testing all night, and it's. I don't know if you've ever done it, but you literally plug in. You get a plug and you plug it into this. Was it portable apparatus testing? And you just plug it into that, and then you press a button, and wait for it to stop clicking. Press the button again, wait for it to stop clicking. Press it again, and then it clicks some more, and then comes up with either pass or fail, and you go, "Oh, I'll just write this down." And then you write it on a sticker and put it on the plug, and then you go on to the next thing. But it makes, I will say, it makes the night go very, very quickly, because by the time you've done like 10 of the mobile homes, it's about 5 hours, 6 hours have passed. So it's really quick. But,
well, it's keeping you occupied, isn't it? And that's why it seems to go quicker.
Well, yeah, normally when you do the overnights, it gets to about 3-4 o'clock in the morning and you're there like that. So, yeah, it definitely helps. I've never thought it work, but I can see why people do. So,
Yeah.
And then I very often talk to Josh because he'll be at work at night going, fucking sucks, donkey balls. Oh, my fucking God. Oh, my God, I've got to work till, oh, my God, I'm doing the graveyard shift. Oh my fucking God! You know,
6 to 6 is the long hours, man.
You do 12-hour shifts, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing 12 hours, and they've now put it back down to 8 for everybody at last. So, but I know exactly what. I know exactly what it's like with the 12-hour shifts. There's no way of stabilizing this because it's on the bed, so it just wobble. Any way you can stabilize it, Leela? No, she's comfy. She's nicked. Rachel's duvet, Rachel's dressing gown. Hang on. God, oh, and I've just screwed the camera up. Right, hang on. Ugh. Oh yeah, and before we go, yeah, our condolences to von Daniken, Eric von Daniken's family, and his immediate family and everything. So, very, very sad loss to the paranormal and the world of ufology, amongst other things. And he was one of the main reasons I got into ufology was reading Chariots of the Gods, because he when you read, if you ever never read it, read it, because you'll read it and go, fucking hell. And it does.
Yeah,
it's one of the books.
he was one of the first people. He was one of the first people to write about the possible links between ancient civilizations and the links to extraterrestrial life.
They're gods and
So
ETs, and it's true. And everything I've always said, I've always thought that the Parthenons are the gods. We've spoken about it so many times.
Yeah.
I've always thought the Parthenons are the gods were the same beings, just appearing in different guises, so that other cultures would understand them. Makes a lot of sense. But, and I reckon one day they're going to come back down and go, "What the fuck are you doing to the planet, man?" Sorry. And one thing we have got to mention: what the hell is going on with Trump and that fucking Egypt that's in the UK? They're like really trying to get World War III going, and it's like, what's wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? You know, nobody wants a war. Nobody wants a fucking war. You know, I'm amongst those that I used to, like Wayne used to be in the services. But however, if they try to call me up, because the last caller page is 57 for people with skills. If they try to call me up, it's going to be a big fat no, because I don't agree with it.
Well, there is a clause. Any military personnel can refuse an order if it means breaking international law.
Yeah, I don't agree with it.
And I think there was. I saw something yesterday, I believe it was, where he asked the Pentagon, big generals in the Pentagon, to draw up plans for Greenland, and they all turned around and went, no.
Oh, God, is this the Greenland thing again?
Yep.
I
thought you were talking about Venezuela.
Oh, no, Venezuela's done and dusted that one. But it's more about, at the moment, it's about the UK, America, and a couple of other countries agreeing to put boots on the ground in the Ukraine if a peace deal is done. And I think that's just a security. That's just a security thing, like the United Nations did when Turkey went into Cyprus and they created a no man's land. That's just like a United Nations thing where they went in to keep the peace. And that'll be a similar thing with Ukraine. But the bigger issue is this business with Greenland. And he's asked officials in the Pentagon to draw up plans for an invasion or takeover of Greenland, and they've just said no, it's unlawful, and Congress won't go for it.
I was going to say there was, if I remember rightly, there was a thing a while back. America again before tried to get it. The UK, I'm sure, had something to do with trying to get it. Russia tried to get it, and somebody else tried to get it, and each time they were like, "No, we all signed this bit of paper. It says none of us could do it."
Well, Greenland technically belongs to Denmark, and they have full autonomy, so they govern themselves. But they are like we have a Commonwealth, and America has all the little American. I can't remember what it was now.
It's
the small islands that they own. But then when you look at Hawaii, it's a state of America. But it's a territory.
It's in America.
It's a territory technically because it's not directly involved with mainland America. But it's classed as a state. But what made me laugh more than anything was he said about he didn't want Russia on their doorstep. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute, you've got the Bering Strait. What's either side of the Bering Strait? Russia one side and the American state of Alaska the other.
I think there's something like it comes down to, is it 3 miles between Russia and America at that point?
Well, it's like we were saying a couple of weeks ago about the land bridge and how people from mainland Europe had made their way through Mongolia and Russia up across the Bering Strait through the land bridge and then down to mainland America via the land bridge. And then when the ice age ended, that land bridge had gone. And so it restricted their movement. So you've got this issue, and there's a small island, I think Bimini or something it's called, which is the technical border between Alaska and mainland Russia.
Bimini, that's off Japan, I think.
No, Bemidi, it's something similar, but it's just literally a small island that sits right in between Alaska and Russia, and that's where the borderline is between the two. So to turn around and say, we don't want Russians on our doorstep, he's talking out of his backside because they already are.
I don't know what's going on with the orange faceted one, but the fact that, like I say, our knobhead who's in charge over here, who quite frankly is a cockwomble, is up the guy's arse going, "Yes, master. Yes, we will do this for you, master."
Shock and awe tactics.
Hey?
He's doing shock and awe tactics. You're not even hearing about that right now. Over here, you're hearing about the ICE agent shooting.
Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of that on TikTok at the moment. Innocent people being caught by ICE and being detained illegally.
Yeah. That woman who got shot in the car, she got shot because she drove straight at the dude that was in front of the car, didn't she?
Yeah, well, she tried to go around him, but he was still in the way.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say that he went straight on to her. That's kind of what the right is trying to push right now.
You think it was somebody throwing their weight about?
Yeah, that. I mean, they were initially following ICE and harassing them too. So, I mean, it's guilty on both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both have GoFundMe pages too that are getting up there.
Do you know
Certainly has collected a lot.
Do you know one of the things that makes me laugh about GoFundMe pages? And I'm sorry, I shouldn't take the piss, but I am, but I'm not, but I am, but I'm not. Is these people who do stupid things like burglaries and stuff, and they get killed in the middle of the burglary because like one of them cut through some fucking power lines on a car charger. I'm sorry, but isn't it kind of obvious? You've got a metal saw in your hand and you've got a live fucking thing that's pumping through many. Yeah, and you're gonna go, I'm gonna cut through this because I'll be alive to sell. And they're trying to take the people who made it and the electricity, the family are trying to take the people who made the car charger thing and the electricity corporation to court and sue them for millions of dollars. And it's like, I'm
or the
really
people here.
dead. However, he kind of realized if he didn't realize what he was doing, he's a fuck knuckle. But how is it not obvious that you're going to cut into something? It's not the volts that kills you; it's the amps. You're cutting into something that's giving out high amps, and you're going to go.
We have similar cases here with home insurers that are armed getting shot and killed, and then their families trying to sue the people that house has been robbed.
Yeah. And it's like your boy came in with a gun to try to rob us, and we fired back. And you're trying to. And I've seen the judges in some of those things look at the family go, and you can see he's going, "Are you stupid? Why are you even here? Are you fucking stupid?" You know. Jesus Christ! Somebody comes in over here. We don't have the guns over here, but if somebody breaks in over here 9 out of 10 times, you're gonna get smacked in the mouth. If you break into my house, I'm gonna wrap a baseball bat around your head. Simple as that, you know.
Well, it was like that farmer, wasn't it, where they had the travellers broke into his house and he shot them, and he was the one that got put inside for it, even though they were trespassing, and they threatened him before.
Yeah. I think he went down for 6 years or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, he got early release though, didn't he? Because the public kicked off about it.
Yeah. I've always anything like that, and I'm sure Josh will agree. Anything like that, if somebody's breaking into your sanctuary, your personal property, your home where your family are, you're doing everything to protect them. I know I will.
Well, an Englishman's home is his castle, as they say, and you've got every right to defend your home.
It says in Magna Carta,
and that was what was used in the court that got him his early release.
It's in the Magna Carta. The same as it says in the Magna Carta that if a government is not doing anything to look after its people and is doing everything to look after itself, the nation as a whole can rise up and fuck them off out of it.
Yeah.
I think that possibly needs to happen.
Oh, that island, by the way, is called Diomede.
Diomede.
That's the one where they always switch out the flags like on a daily basis.
Probably.
There's some island between us and Russia. They're literally the troops like leave together and shit for each other, and they constantly are switching it to a Russian flag, and the Americans would switch it back and leave something for the Russians, and the Russians.
Yeah, because the border cuts right through the middle of it.
Yeah.
So they say, oh, whose sovereignty are we under today? Are we under Russia or are we under America?
And what else was there? I saw on the news. North Korea are starting to rattle their sabers. North Korea was starting to rattle their sabers, and they were trying to get China onto their side, and they just launched a ballistic missile, and it went into the ocean. And China turned around to North Korea and basically went, "Pipe down. Why'd you fucking neck in? Pipe down. We don't want to be anything associated with you whatsoever. Fuck off."
It's a lovely place. I'd love to go there one day.
China or North Korea?
Both.
I think it's silly.
I was up for going to Disneyland, but after what I've seen about ice, I don't think I want to go.
You be the guy. I say I'm British, don't you know? Bang! You can't do this to me.
Right for the Gators.
They'll bag tag me and send me home before I know it.
It makes me laugh, like because I remember we had a conversation on it a while back, and Josh was saying like American history that's taught. It's not normal history. It's just the history of what America's done. I remember you saying about it, and like if ever they talk about the outside world or Europe or anybody else, it's always how America helped them do this and helped them do that. The history, it's not the proper history, but if you can imagine that's what kids grow up with in school, and it's fed to them, and this, that, and the other. Of course, you're going to get people that think, yeah, fuck yeah, with this and with that and with other. But when they learn the truth, they don't believe it's the truth. And I've read several things this week where people have come on and gone, why do the English speak American? Why are they speaking American? Why haven't they got their own language? And I've answered a few, and I'm going, are you an idiot?
Yeah,
it's called English for a fucking reason, you knob. You know.
I saw one on TikTok the other day. Someone saying, "Oh, once he's finished with Greenland, he'll go for the UK next because they learn our language." And I'm thinking, hang on a minute, why do you think it's called English?
Yeah.
And there was that girl. That was that girl, wasn't there? She was on TikTok saying about. She called it Americanish.
Yeah, no, Americanish. Yeah. Don't worry, Josh. We're not having a pop up.
No, I think
the problem is on a lot of countries do it, because I know Greece does it as well. But what they're doing is they're concentrating more on their history rather than world history. But what they're doing is they're filling in the narrative so it suits what they're trying to do. So I mean, the Greeks.
History, there was no world before 1775. What are you talking about?
So the Greeks tend to talk about the ancient civilization and the birth of democracy and Aristotle and all of that, all these big people that have sort of brought in massive changes to the world. And then they will talk about things like World War II, because obviously there was a big thing going and there was a big resistance, a bit like the French. But technically they don't really talk about other people's history. Whereas for us, because we've been sort of here, there, and everywhere, and just got involved with everything, our history is it's more of an expanse.
Well, I mean, we
than a lot of places.
hundreds, well, thousands of years. The Battle of Hastings was 1066. That's almost 1,000 years ago, you know.
Yeah.
The guy I'm descended from, that Viking Thorkel the Tall, he came from the 8th century. So, and you can go back further and further and further, but you know, I think you can. Well, it's like the Dark Ages, isn't it? The Dark Ages where you only had scribes who were clergy or proper scribes, the only people who could read.
So, like the 1500s, it tended to be vicars and ministers and the clergy, like you say, that were responsible for writing the books.
Yeah, exactly. I want to know about the Devil's Bible. The legends behind that was written in one night by that monk, and it's like,
Will it be the opposite of the normal Bible?
well, it was called the Devil's Bible because this monk was tasked with writing a transcript of the Bible, but he had to do it in one night, and he did. But he allegedly got help. But is this all like the whole thing with incubus and succubus? As you know my opinion on incubus and succubus. I think incubus and succubus, where the whole legend of those came about, is because a young monk was caught knocking one off. And when they asked him what the fuck he was doing, he was going, Jesus, can you not see the fucking demon sat on me? She's riding me like an old bike. You know, and that's where it all started from. So I genuinely think that's where incubus and succubus came from. It's because someone got caught knocking one off, and they went, "What the fuck are you doing? Can you not see the demon?" You know. And back then they'd have to go, "Oh yeah. The demon's got your black pudding. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. We shall call them incubus and succubus." When you look at old legends and old things and this, that, and the other, if you put a modern spin on it, you can see straight away why things were done, you know? That's what I think. I think a lot of things like that where people been caught doing things they shouldn't, but I also think there's a lot of things that have been
misinterpreted.
That what they've seen is things that we don't actually understand, but it's been put down straight away as demons and this, that, and the other, like parallel dimensions and thin veils and doorways. That, you know, when we see reports of shadow people, I don't think that's actually a real thing. I think it's about as far as whatever is on the other side of the doorway. That's about as far as they can, as much as they can get of their corporeal body over. You know.
Yeah.
What do you think? If it's like a peek into another dimension? That's what I always thought it was.
Yeah, pretty much. I was looking for a copy of the Devil's Bible recently. I dread to think they go, why? Why?
Is it really huge? The Devil's Bible is really
massive.
Made for a child. Yeah.
That's about the only thing I can say is massive, because anything else about me fucking isn't. Anyway.
I don't think it'd be possible to write it in one night.
Nah, you wouldn't be able to. I mean, because when you think back then, all their pens were made out of feathers and had to be sharpened and dipped.
Wasn't there pictures and stuff in it too?
There was hand done pictures, and there was gold filigree and everything.
Yeah, it's probably some inner society that was screwing with the church.
Well, there's been many. There was the Voynich manuscript, that was written in that language that people can't decipher, and it's got plants in there and stuff that is nothing. So where did that come from?
For anybody wanting to know, if you want to see the original Devil's Bible, it is currently in the National Library of Sweden in Stockholm.
There.
In Stockholm, in Sweden. Here we go.
Fucking huge.
But that's the size of that. They're probably taking them all night doing it on one page.
And then some. That wasn't a night.
Yeah. No chance.
The project done secretly, and then he went, "Oh, look what I did in the night." And they went, oh. You know, it's got to be something, because that would have taken years.
Yeah, but there's no way he'd have written a whole book in one night, and including the illustrations.
What keeps squeaking? That. What is that?
What?
Someone keeps going,
That's my chair. That's my chair.
Oh, right. I wasn't sure if you'd had a can of beans or something, you know. So yeah.
No, it's my bar stool. It needs a bit of WD-40. Just keeps squeaking.
Is that a euphemism?
It needs lubricating. There we go. Sponsorship for tonight.
Rocket stays where it sprays. So many jokes there. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. Not going to be tempted. Not going to be tempted. So, what have you been up to? What have you been up to over Christmas and New Year? I know, but these guys out there don't know. So, what have you been doing?
Not much, really. Just the norm.
I feel like I've complained to everybody about their shift, so I think everybody knows.
Yeah, he's not very happy with his shifts, are you?
I don't know. I'm getting used to it now. It's kind of cool. I get to do the show every week. And
so you're back now.
Yeah, that's the upside.
Okay, that's cool. All right. Oh yeah, are you on permanent graveyard shift?
Yeah.
See, I have to do a mixture of 4 till midnight, or midnight till 8 a.m. or 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. I have to do a fucking mixture all week. It's horrible.
I do the 2-2-3 schedule, so I'm work 2 days, I'm off 2 days, I work 3 days, I'm off 3 days, I work 2 days.
I sort of I have to work a day and I'll have a day off. Then I work a day, work the next day, have a day off, work a day.
Yeah.
It's.
I don't know why we can't just work normal schedules anymore. We got to be 12 hours long, but whatever.
I mean, we could always go into politics and we could take holidays whenever we want. Then.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I need to go to this convention in Brazil. I think I'll take some time off.
We have souls, so that won't work.
I still want to know what goes on in Bohemian Grove because half the I worked Christmas Day. I worked till 8 a.m. Christmas Day, which sucked. But I'll tell you what was really cool is just before midnight, Rachel and her daughter and her daughter's other half came up, surprised me up at work, and they came up and brought a present up and everything for me. So that was really nice. Someone worked out how long it would take to write. Can't remember what the number of years was, but I think it was 100 plus.
Yeah.
It was
a book that size had to have done. Yeah. It's taken a long time.
Here, I've got one for you. Have you heard of Glastonbury Tour? Right. Yeah. For those of you who are in America now, you've heard of Glastonbury, where the festival is and everything. You've got Glastonbury Tour, which is allegedly where Arthur was buried. He was allegedly buried there. Right after the Lady of the Lake, because he came from originally near Tintagel in Devon, and they reckon he was buried at Glastonbury Tour. There's been recent things going on with Glastonbury Tour where they've done echo sounding and stuff like that, and they have found there's a passage that goes all the way down through the hill that the tour's built on, and underneath it they have found I think it's 2 chambers, and now underneath that they found a massive chamber underneath which has got a raised. That's it, with like a raised dais in the center of it, and they're trying to get permission to dig in there and see what it is. Because according to legend, that's where Arthur is buried down underneath.
It is on top of a hill, so it's probably the better view.
Yeah, I've been there several times. Bit of a trek, but
so I mean, obviously you can see sort of more ground level to the side there.
So most likely the hill would have been like a burial mound, and then they built a tower on top of the mound.
Yeah.
Obviously the mound was there first because the monument it's old, but it's not as anywhere near as old as the Legend of King Arthur. I will say though, what do you two think? Do you reckon Arthur was real or a story?
I think it's a typical thing where the tales of somebody's nobility and heroic deeds have been expanded and changed over the years to what it is now as the Legend of King Arthur. I don't think it was the way I see it, it's the same as Jesus. I think somebody like him existed, and he did
Yeah.
a lot of wonderful things for a lot of people, but not to the extent the likes of the Bible states happened.
Yeah.
So with King Arthur, I think, yes, there was a ruler of whether it's the local area or the entire country. He just literally brought everybody together and everything was fine until it was time for the next person to take over and so on.
Well, back then, each different area had its own bloody king, because he was the king of Avalon, which, or Avalon and Mercia, wasn't it? Which is just basically part of the West Country. It wasn't even the whole of it; it was just a bit of the West Country. But from what I've read in old stuff about him, he was a robber king. He was, although he was a king, if anybody tried to come over on his land, he'd kick fuck out of him, steal all their stuff. So, pretty much like going to Bristol, really. But you know, it's. I think it's like the Bible. The Bible now is Chinese whispers, because that all did everything when King was it the King James Bible?
Yeah.
Yeah, when the King James changed it to his liking, so that he could understand it and everybody else could, and the stories would sound better.
I mean, he also added the witches and witch trials. And you know, if the Bible is supposed to be classed as the Word of God, no one should have been able to alter it.
No,
regardless of whether it's to add things or to take things away. If that was the book of the Word of God, then that shouldn't. Oh, you can't edit it. You can't take things out or add things, because that's,
right, Chris.
you know. So it just leads more to the fact that it's just a collection of stories that someone has gathered up and put into a big, massive
I
collection.
think it was written by a descendant or an ancestor of Roald Dahl. I reckon somewhere in there is the premise for Fantastic Mr. Fox, if you look carefully.
Some of that, or Hans Christian Andersen.
Well, it's got everything in there that you want. It's got aliens, it's got magicians, it's got kings, it's got battles, it's got knights, it's got an illusionist. And I do think Jesus was a real person. He may very well have been part Nephilim, part human. There is a lot of things that persuade me he might have been part Nephilim, and I'm not the only person who thinks that, because of he had the persuasion thing. He could make anybody listen to him and persuade lots of people to not go against their will, but listen to him. And he studied so many different things.
You haven't met anybody that's good like that at just talking? I have a couple of friends that you can totally tell they lost their calling to be lawyers.
3 of us here, young man. The fact we do the show, of course we're good at talking. But because he studied all throughout Asia, studying mysticism, martial arts, the healing arts, all sorts of things, and he knew so much stuff, and he knew a lot of stuff to do with the cosmos and things that we shouldn't possibly have known back then. So, and then when you look at the book of Ezekiel and everything like that as well, and it talks about the chariot, God's chariot, and it talks about the wheel within a wheel, and how the hell did he know what the world looks like from space? Nobody back then could have done. You know, they could guess at it, but they wouldn't have known what it was and been able to describe the outline of the continents and everything. I think Arthur was top dog in his gang, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like looking at the NASCAR lines, isn't it? You know, you can only see what it actually makes from above.
Yeah.
And the technology wasn't there then. So how did they know what shape they were carving out of the mountainside?
Well, one of them's an astronaut. You've got the big bird and the tarantula and everything like that. There's been there's bases underneath the NASCAR lines that have been secret bases that apparently are millennia old, but have been there for but the US forces use them, and they're out. What do you call whistleblowers have come forward and said, "Oh yeah, this is there, that's there." But yeah, one of the NASCAR things is a spaceman in a helmet. Yeah.
And yet the only way it can be seen properly to its extent is from above.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the name of the series was, but it was a bloke talking about ancient civilizations and who could have built these ancient civilizations, and had Keanu Reeves in there. He was actually on it as a guest.
Ancient aliens.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Ancient Aliens. It was something else. It was a different professor. It wasn't
Something
the
from the-
sounding guy.
Was it the English fella?
I think so. I
know
think he was English.
There was a thing on Facebook about him and.
But
Keanu Reeves.
he spent a lot of time. He spent a lot of time in South America, and he had Keanu Reeves in there with him, and he was talking to him about the possibility of these different races, and he was talking about the levels on the brickworks. You could clearly tell where the Incas had added blocks on top of the ones that were already there, and you could see the age difference because there was no gaps between the rocks at the bottom. And yet you could see gaps at the top.
The mountains have been sheared off flat.
Yeah, but he was talking about all the brickwork. The brickwork was seamless. You could literally put one block in another, and you couldn't even put a cigarette paper in the gap. They weren't able to do any carbon dating from moss inside between the bricks because there was no moss growing in the bricks because they were so close together. And they said when you compare that to the Inca blocks that are above them, you can actually carbon date them, so we know that they've come from the Incas. But these blocks underneath, they've come from something else, and they're perfectly built.
I was going to say that's a bit like the hairs on Josh's beard. They're so intricate and together, you can't carbon date them. But ladies and gentlemen, we will be finishing on time because young Mr. Josh has to rush off to work. So, but I just no. Come on, out with it, man. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to bring up? What do you want? Because I have deliberately left UFOs and stuff alone over Christmas.
Not going to work. Going back to bed. This is what I want to talk about.
Well, thank you very much for the offer, mate, but you're the wrong species.
Let me think.
That sounds so wrong, Mark.
I'm not into bestiality.
Heard that there was more Mothman sightings in Chicago again. Now there's people calling it the Owl Man, which there's always been that resemblance.
Yeah.
Right around O'Hare.
Oh, the Owl Man. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they got to be.
I'm sure, if I remember rightly, in I can't remember if it's Cherokee or Comanche, but in some of the Native American legends, there is an Owl Man. I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
Do you reckon? Right, and you guys out there who as well, these legends and things like that, like my fingers are falling off. What the fuck? I didn't realise I scratched my arse up vigorously. Anyway, what I was trying to say is, do you think that a lot of these legends and stuff are remnants of things that were real once upon a time, long time ago, and somehow epochs of them have survived, like the Yetis and the Nessie and Champ and all that lot?
I don't see why not.
Huh?
Definitely the Thunderbird legend.
Yeah.
They're
a pterodon. Without doubt, they're a pterodon.
Yeah.
And there's very, very credible evidence for the pterodons as well, the Thunderbirds.
I mean, it's like the dodo, isn't it? Everybody laughs at when you mention the bird, a dodo. And you talk to people about it today, and a lot of the kids today, they're like, what's a dodo? And even when I was a kid, someone mentioned a dodo. You're like, really? There was a bird called a dodo? Oh, yeah, it was hunted to extinction.
I think, as far as I'm aware, I read... I'll have to see if I can find the article. I read something about they think they have found dodos again. Only a few, but they think they found them again.
Well, they're talking about cloning them, too, so that makes it weird.
But that's the thing. There's no reason why that these beings could have been pre-Ice Age.
Yeah.
And that they've managed to seclude themselves from the rest of the world, so there's no outside interference, and they've managed to keep the species alive.
I think that's a very, very credible thing. I think a lot of these cryptids are out there. like dogmen and wee wolves and things like that. I think Josh knows a lot more about them than he lets on. But it's the beard. It's the
Werewolves aren't real. What are you talking about? There's no Beast of Bay Road.
beard. I won't let your secret out. Don't worry, you're safe, mate. We'll protect you. We'll protect you.
You get me deported, Mark.
Yeah, careful. You'll have fucking ice kicking in your door again. He's of Nordic descent. Get rid of him.
Get the brother.
It's what was I going to say? Do you know one of the funniest things that's ever made me laugh about a werewolf? Because it was, what was that film? Lesbian Vampire Killers. And they talk about a gay werewolf and say, what's going to happen now? Gay werewolf's going to come in and bum me. And then right at the end of it, you see this werewolf and he goes, ow, like that. And that always made me laugh. It always made me laugh.
I know the best way to get rid of a werewolf, just get a pair of hair clippers. Right, I'm going to shave you.
I wonder if it'd be like Danny McBride in Your Highness, where he cuts off the Minotaur's cock and wears it around his neck on a necklace.
You.
Can you imagine that? I've killed a werewolf. What's happened? Very small penis. Oh dear, how I have missed this. I was shattered. Well, I'm shattered now, and I was like, oh god, I've got to do the show. And then Rachel was like, yeah, it's the first one of the year. They're not having a day off. And I was like, yeah, no, I know. And now we're doing it, and I'm like, yeah, I've missed all this, where we sit here and talk absolute bollocks and that stuff, and everybody else loves it. Oh, it is good.
And I literally get a phone call 10 minutes before we're due to go live, and I'm like, no, I can't talk now. I've got to go live in a minute. And they went, all right, I won't keep you long, but how do I do this on TikTok? And I'm like, for God's sake, seriously?
That's like my mum, bless her, when she was alive, she'd ring me up at least once a week and go, Mark, now I'm on the computer and I've forgotten my password. How do I? Mum, you wrote it down. Yeah, but I can't. No, you wrote it down, not in that book. You wrote it. Mum, put me on camera. Mum, that's your ear hole, Mum. We're on camera. We're Mum. Put the no. There you go. No, she's gone again.
My mum did that. She put her passwords in a password book and then lost the password book.
Yeah.
You're like, you silly cow.
Yeah. Look at what's that island? I'm just saying, certain tribes can keep themselves hidden. Then there is a possibility. What's that island? Is it Ascension Island, where in the Indonesia, where you?
Where anybody goes to it, they get attacked.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was that. I mean, when you look at Papua New Guinea.
Yeah.
Papua New Guinea, the last place that had cannibals. I mean, that's been until recently.
We stopped screwing around with that too. Once you get back to the U.S., there's been a bunch of people who went to Sentinel Island and survived, but every time they've made it back, they've been waiting. The FBI's been waiting for them at the airport, being like, "Oh, guess who else saw your TikTok? You have the right to remain silent."
Yeah. It's like cannibals everywhere. Still got cannibals. I've watched The Hills of Eyes. Have you ever been to Bradford?
But yeah, I mean, Papua New Guinea was famous for having the cannibals, the cannibalistic tribes, and then you've got some in the Amazon still.
That's right. Yeah.
One of them was like really famous here because a band went there and made an album with the Headhunters. Sepultura. There's a Brazilian band that did it.
I remember something about that. And there was also, didn't they do that film Green Holocaust? One of the sickest films you could ever watch. I've never seen it, and I won't because
it's bad.
But that's supposed to have been done with cannibals, and some of the
they actually they hired one and brought him to the U.S. and he's like, "No, you got to use this because this chops through bone better." And yeah.
And some of the things in that film are so. The special effects back then weren't that good, but the special effects in the film look literally like it's the real thing. That's all I'll say, and I'll leave that one there. There's another film, if you like your horrors and something that's going to make you go, is it, what's that film? Not a Kosovan movie, a Slavian movie. It's called and then the name of this country movie. Oh, what the hell is it?
Oh, a Serbian movie.
Serbian movie.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah. If you want again,
Like
if you want,
that.
go and watch that. I won't.
No, and I've watched some really weird horror movies lately. Oh, I don't think I'll go down that road.
A Serbian movie. I know the story behind it because I've read the thing about the script, and that's it. It is like, oh, that's a bit odd. But then I've seen like stills from it, and it's just like, whoa, no. There's a few.
I don't know. I'm completely desensitized. I grew up with the first YouTube generation when they had like the cartel shows.
I've
But you
seen.
guys don't even know about that. The cartel would like live video, like executions.
Yeah. I can remember one of my old friends a long time ago. He had this. I'm talking 25 years ago at least. And it was when the Nokia phones first brought out a phone that was 1 gigabyte. It was then, and he had one of these fucking phones, and he had a video on it. He's like, "Oh, you might like this," and it was somebody being beheaded, and it was one of the cartel things, and I was just like, "What the fucking hell am I watching?"
Yeah.
And it stayed up there. It was horrific. It was horrific.
They did. That went around, didn't it? It was like that English reporter guy that got caught in Afghanistan. They beheaded him.
Yeah.
And that went around the internet like wildfire.
Yeah, people do.
The cartels would use chainsaws and they would show all of it. It was pretty horrific.
Yeah. No, it's not. Yeah. So, recommendation of the week: a Green Holocaust or a Serbian movie.
Or if you want something mild, Human Centipede 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. They have a new movie coming out.
They messed up. What's got what?
There's the director of Human Centipede's got a new franchise he's talking up.
Oh God! It's like the Saw
Just
movie.
as bad as Human Centipede. Yeah, yeah.
I watched them up until 5, and then it started putting me off horrors and stuff.
I think it was the third one in the prison, wasn't it? Number 3 was in the prison in the desert.
I don't know. They all kind of just blend together. It's not even sure.
I remember
A guy with a
See what you did there, Josh.
puppet, gynecancer, torturing cops. And there, I just saved you a whole trilogy.
No, it's like the Human Centipede. The whole premise of the ass to mouth thing just.
Really, I know. It was like somebody was like, "Let's see how far we could take ass to mouth."
Yeah, I mean, with Human Centipede, I kept hearing about it, and it was like Game of Thrones. I resisted the urge to watch Game of Thrones. All my friends were talking about it. I'm like, I'm not going to watch it. And in the end, I caved in and watched it. And I'm glad I did. But with Human Centipede, I'm like, I wish I'd never heard of the name.
One of the things I wish I had never seen is I got dared by both my daughters to watch Two Girls, One Cup.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, and they sat the other, and the thing I was like, how the hell do you know about this? Oh, they talk about it at school. And they sat the other, and I heard it, but I didn't know what it was. And they sat the other side of the laptop filming my reaction. And I was like, all right then. And I found it, and I put it on. And to start with, you're like, oh, okay. And then it very quickly goes from, oh, okay to.
Yeah. That's forever asking everybody's brains.
It's enough to put you off melting chocolate ice cream for a while, I can tell you.
Yeah.
And how did she get it in that glass so quickly? She literally went in the glass.
I'm guessing there was probably more than one take.
You couldn't do that in more than one take. Fucking
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but you people. I know people do anything for money, but fucking hell.
It was not one. What was it? I can't remember what it was called now, but it was some sort of very sort of quite a well-known director for B-movie horrors, and it was it was about a woman that had 7 clitorises and a bloke with a massive penis.
She has
And
what?
7 clitorises, including inside, right?
Is it
but
Snow
she
White
had-
with 7 clitorises? I don't know.
She had this sort of insatiable hunger for sex, and she was never satisfied. But the bloke with this massive penis, he literally had been given drugs and steroids, and in the end, this penis had grown a mind of its own, and it detached itself from him.
Oh, is that the one that would
And became a president.
And of course, this penis ended up getting with this woman, and she killed it. It was too much for it, and it died.
Vaguely
And I'm like,
I remember something about Willie that would come away from a bloke, and he'd go, "Oh fuck, what's it doing? What's it doing? What's it doing?" And he'd find a girl dead where it had gone straight through.
Yeah.
Oh no! It was bizarre. It was it wasn't a porn or anything like that. It was just like, what the fuck is this? You know. Very
this
odd.
is pretty much what is body something, and it for some unknown reason it just kept going for all these women, and one woman that left her constantly having orgasms. And the bloke didn't know what to do because she's laying on the floor having orgasm after orgasm. So he ends up dumping her in an alley and leaving her to it. In the meantime, his penis has gone off elsewhere to find someone else.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is
Where we leave the show.
I'm watching.
Have a
Yeah,
great night.
Welcome to the John Beer Show.
It was an 80s film, by the way. I'll just let you know. I think.
The 80s were messed up anyway.
Yeah.
The 80s were very, very messed up. It was the 90s I don't remember much. That's when I used to do DJing and used to go to the raves. Don't remember a lot about the 90s. For certain reasons, don't remember the 90s. Ah, dear, oh dear. Anyway, do you need to go to work, Josh?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Alright.
Gotta eat.
It's been great having you back. We'll come back with UFOs and paranormal stuff next week. I thought for the first one.
I believe I'm off next week, so we can go longer too, or whatever.
Also, well, let us know when you want to carry on with the consciousness.
All right.
Hopefully, Wayne will do another meeting of his video corner where he reviews the latest in porn and tells us all about it, as he did tonight.
No, I don't watch porn. That was a horror, believe it or not.
Fucking wrong with you. You've lost your wings.
No, because I watch Horror Talk. So on TikTok, there
What,
are
porn talk?
people that review horror films, and a guy had rated the top 5 of his favourite horror films. So I started watching the 5 horror films that he reckoned were brilliant, and that was one of the films. I think it was number 5.
Have you ever seen, before you go, it's like I prefer like Korean horrors to European horrors because I find
Yeah, they
European
are pretty
horrors
good.
get too much in there, but Korean horrors are just like instant zombies. And
Yeah.
have you ever seen Train to Busan or The Peninsula? Fucking brilliant, absolutely.
Yeah, I've seen the
really,
Train to Busan.
Yeah, The Peninsula was a sequel. Watch them; they're brilliant. But anyway, we will be back next week, everybody. Thank you very, very much for joining us for the first show of the year. We'll be back with proper spooky shit. Yeah, I said it, spooky shit. So, I will get raiding the archives and go down rabbit holes, and hopefully these two will as well, and we will see what we can come up with for next week. When I say rabbit holes, I don't mean whatever it is you've been watching on video, young man. Okay? So, it's goodbye from him, and it's goodbye from him right down on the end there. And I hope your shift goes by very quickly tonight.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm
3
going to
days.
because I'm fucked. So, anyway, thank you everybody for joining us, and we will see you all next week. And hopefully, if I remember, I will take the music off my phone, put it on here, and I'll see if I can get it added onto that video that Josh did last year. So can you send it again, Josh, because it'll be on my other phone?
Sure.
Thank you.
Probably not tonight, but yeah.
Well, no, because you've got to go to work.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a text from him, a WhatsApp from him saying, "You ass." Right. We will see you all later, guys. Bye. Remember, join us.
Bye.